Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to an impromptu video where I thought it would be fun to walk you through side by side with the JK Tarot and the RWS Centennial Tarot. I recently got the JK Tarot in the mail and I don't know, I just thought it would be fun to see these two side by side. Before I jump into the flip through, just a little bit about the JK Tarot. The JK Tarot originated in Japan from the author, and there's a little bit about him on the back, the Jupiter King, and it has been reprinted a couple of times now, and Tarot Collectibles, who has run this reprint in 2024, has explicit permission from the author to do so. It was widely popular because it has vivid colors and many of the characters are facing the opposite way in which the RWS has them, because in Japanese culture they read books from right to left as opposed to left to right. So within that culture, I think it makes 100% sense why the positions would be flipped. This is a very sought after deck. Finding an original copy, either the 1975 version or I think they did a reprint in the 80s. It goes for crazy prices. I've seen anywhere from 200 upwards of 500 and more. And so what Tarot Collectibles decided to do is, because this was such a popular deck and it's well sought out and rare, hard to find, and even more so at a decent price, they decided to do a limited print run this year of this deck. The main differences between the original version and this version is there has been some color enhancing or color correction, not so much straying from the original color palette of each card, just enhancing the tone, cleaning it up just a little bit, making it a little bit more vibrant, as I'm sure the author intended it to be. With that being said, let's take it out of the box here. And this is basically it. You just get the deck. There is no guidebook. There is an extra title card here which has more about the Jupiter King author, and that's also on the back of the box, but you also get a little bit about the deck. And then it jumps right into the cards. Okay, so on the left here is the RWS Centennial, and on the right is the JK Tarot reprint for 2024. And right away you can see that, starting with the Fool, that they are going in opposite directions, but all of the symbolism is still there. We have the white dog, the tunic, his sack, he has a white rose, there's a red flower down here in the ground. The JK has a very thin white border, which I actually think helps the bold colors stand out even more. And I think that people liked this version so much also because the line work is very crisp and clean. It's not so muddy looking, perhaps. It's interesting how the magician is in the exact same position. I almost expected these hands to be switched, so in this hand to be up with the rod and this to be pointed down. I also find it interesting that there's like red liquid in the cup. Interesting, like a huge change in my opinion, is to shift the Emperor from a full front facing position to a side view. I think that changes a lot, to be honest. You can't see his furrowed brow as much as you can in this version, but you do see more of his landscape and his land that he's presiding over, watching over. I prefer this Hierophant a lot more. I don't know why. I think he's an old wise man. I think it's portrayed very nicely. This lion almost looks dog-like, which is quite interesting. I kind of like it. It's very interesting though that the background here is this bright yellow, and in this background it is black, dark. Subtle changes that make a huge difference. I like both of these hermits. I think this justice is a little bit more fierce. Has more of a scowl on their face, whereas this one feels a little more blank, which is kind of what you want justice to have. It doesn't sway one way or the other. I like how this is set up. I adore this figure in the moon is a little bit more detailed than in this one. I think that on uncomfort level, this one makes me more uncomfortable. But yeah, I'd rather have the naked little baby. I like how this judgment figure, angel figure, is like gazing kind of this way, whereas this one either has their eyes closed or is looking exactly at who they're playing the trumpet for. Now we move into the cups. I kind of prefer this directionality a little more. Interesting how we have different colors, more so than these. There's not a green here, but the actual land is green. For me, it's so strange seeing the Eight of Cups go that way as opposed to this way, as we're used to. But I think the sentiment is still there. And this one even has things, money, food, grapes inside the cup that they're leaving behind. So there's a little bit more there. I like the addition of the food here and the eaten maybe turkey legs. We have like a pink horse. Interesting. Some fun. A lot more emphasis light-wise here, but this cup is way more ornate, which draws the eye, I think, equally as much. So both effective at drawing your eye to the cup. I don't know why, you guys. He reminds me of Lord Farquaad. I like the closer up view here. Originally in my mind, I was remembering the Four of Swords being this way versus resting this way. I don't know why. What is that called? The Mandela effect or something? I like that we can see a little bit more of his face, but he doesn't look smug in this one, whereas he does. So his victory is a little bit more sad, whereas he feels good right now. Like this is the moment, maybe just after, where he's like, haha, I've won. And this one is maybe 2 moments after, where he has maybe a little bit of regret. It looks more fruitful here than it's depicted here. It's like the water and the background island or land here is the same color, because the future is still a little uncertain, even though we're leaving to go for a better future. This one looks a little bit more certain. Interesting, this one, they're facing the same direction. I wonder why that choice was made. You can see the castle a little bit better in the background versus here. I love this angle, this like quarter angle. And again, another that the position wasn't changed, which is interesting to note. And something that I'd like to think about. Page is the same direction. I don't enjoy his face as much. I don't know, that sounds harsh, but it's the truth. So our kings, queens, knights, and pages have not changed position at all. So the court has not. And was that the case for the cups? I can't remember. I've been absorbed into this. Okay, so we don't have a switch of direction, but we have a flip of the hand, which I think is really interesting. It's like instead of receiving, we're going ahead and grabbing it and taking it, that opportunity. So the boat is the same, but the leg position is different and the head tilt is different, but the hands aren't switched. So this one isn't up and that one isn't down. Seven of Pentacles remains the same position, as does the 8. Again, we can see a little more detail in the town. 9. The 9 has subtle nuances to the position of the body. The head is forward as opposed to looking over the shoulder. This arm is in front as opposed to being kind of towards the back. And we still have our little snail friend. Very studious looking page on this one. I quite like this queen's facial expressions. Like forlorn almost. And our very ornate King of Pentacles, who wants you to know. So far, the courts have pretty much stayed in the same position. Here the aces are opposite. Same direction here. They're a little bit closer in the foreground. We have a person here on the other side, so we get to see the crowd more fully than in this one. And there's only one person. This maintains the same position. It's interesting. This looks like they're being, I mean, are they being thrown and they're going at this angle, and these are being thrown and they're kind of going up? It's like these represent when it's being thrown first, because we kind of go at an up angle, and then this is like the trajectory of it coming back down. Like the throw has already happened and now it's in air and it's coming back down. Opposite directions. Okay, awesome. So let's just touch on card stock and size. It appears to be just about standard tarot. This is US Games, so it is a very small, very small smidge taller, but it appears a little bit more narrow, but essentially is standard tarot. I am super happy with my decision to get a copy of this deck. This is the back. It's not my favorite. It is a little bit of strain on the eye to look at, but I think the front's more than make up for it. It is along those lines of like Morgan Greer, has some bold colorings, the hoi polloi, has that like 70s colorful style going on. Moon Baby Tarot, I think would be, if you have that, I think you'd be happy. It's along the same lines, I would say, color-wise, and the fact that it is a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. It is, I think, I would describe this cardstock as like a satin. I don't think that it's matte per se. There's a little bit of sheen to it, but it's not gloss. It's just the lamination that was put on here. It's very smooth. It like glides very nicely, so I take it shuffling will be pretty easy. It's not the thickest, but it has a good snapback. So let's give it a shuffle here. Very nice. That was a lovely shuffle. like that a lot. As you can see, my style of shuffling, when I riffle, I really like to put bend into the bridge. Because I have smaller hands, I think that's why I do that. I need a little bit more leverage than maybe others. So it is bending when I bridge, but that's why I like to go card backs, then card face, and alternate, because it'll help that. But I think this is really nice cardstock. Glides very nicely. The Four of Wands and the Six of Cups. I guess since this has been like a mirrored version, we have IV and BI. But they slip really nice. Overhanding is gorgeous. Minimal effort. I think sometimes with cardstock we put more effort into like this part of it than just letting it slide. I barely have to like move my hand and it just glides beautifully. I love the colors on this. Let's lay a couple out, as many as I can fit in frame here. Yeah, I love the colors. I love the saturation. I like that the backgrounds aren't always a blue or a yellow like in the other. There's red skies, there's blue skies, there's green clouds. There's this beautiful mustard color and red and this brown and blue. I'm so very happy to have gotten a reprint. I do see these floating around still. You might pay $80 to $100 now if you're buying it outside of the Indiegogo campaign, but compared to $200, $300, $400, $500 for an original, I think that it is well worth the investment. Granted, you are not getting a book with it. I know that the book is very sought after as well because it came in an original like kit with a nice big book. But I mean, if these colors don't say like 70s, then I don't know, like a pink, orange, and a yellow all in a combination. Awesome. You know, just for some giggles here, why not? Let's pull out the Morgan Greer and have some side-by-sides with that, because it is a very similar color palette. This has more of a softness, like there's a soft, I don't know what you call that, but it's like a softness filter where it kind of blurs it a little bit, ever so slightly, softens the image. Definitely along the same lines as far as like color palette wise. Aesthetically, I think they're definitely two different styles, of course. I think it would have been really lovely to see this without borders. I'm really loving the borderless feel here, and I think that would have captured, I don't know, I think would have done a lot. Although I know I said, I do still stand by what I did say in that the white borders, they give your eye a little bit of a break and an organization of you're looking into something. But I don't know, I like the Morgan Greer, how it's looking borderless. Like here with this man gardening, as opposed to looking at maybe a picture in a gallery of this Page of Cup looking at a fish. If that makes any sense at all. Like I could be walking beside this guy. And right up close, an apprentice's apprentice. That's a thing. And here I'm a little bit removed. But that is the vibe of this. And the Morgan Greer is different because it is more zoomed in close up. I think it does that well. But color story wise, I think these go together beautifully. So thanks for amusing my wish to see them side by side. Thank you guys so much for taking a little bit of time today for this impromptu little video. I just thought it would be fun to compare side by side with an RWS. Very nice spread here. Very nice. Please give me a like and subscribe if you want. If you want to see more videos like this where I compare two decks, they could be similar or dissimilar. Leave a comment below. What would you like to see? What kind of videos do you want to watch? Let me know. And until next time, see you around.